Hello everyone, it is Miss Kramer here. I am working on right now getting our whole writing unit together and uploaded for you guys to work on. So right now it is April 1st. This video that I'm recording for is actually for week 3, day 3 of our writing unit. So chances are it is, geez Louise, 3 weeks into April if you're watching this video. So I do change my clothing. I just did all this in one day. So yesterday as you were working, you worked on finding the nouns, pronouns, adjectives, and verbs in your current draft of your how-to writing piece. And I felt confident in your guys' ability that I didn't need to do a mini grammar lesson for that because we've kind of talked about those parts of speech a lot. And I've split this page in our guidebook into two because it can be pretty tricky and it can be pretty time consuming. So now, as we're working on our second day of this page in our folders, we're kind of on the trickier parts of speech. So today we're looking for adverbs, conjunctions, prepositions, and interjections. I'm pretty confident with you guys working on adverbs because it's something we've talked about a lot. An adverb describes a verb. So if we remember, an adjective describes a noun, an adverb describes a verb. And this is kind of the silly question that Miss Lev and I always ask you is, you kind of have to be able to ask yourself, can you do this? So for example, quickly is an adverb. I can quickly run. So it's something we can do. We couldn't purpley run. That's going to be an adjective instead. So you have to be able to ask yourself if it's describing a verb. So you have to remember what nouns and verbs are to be able to do adverbs. But I feel pretty confident in your ability to do that one. The other ones, though, are a little trickier. So I wanted to go over that. So the next one that you guys are going to be looking for are conjunctions. And I know we've talked about them a little bit this year, but it's been a while since we've been able to go through our grammar and be with each other. So I just wanted to do a really quick review. Conjunctions are what we call the fanboys. If you guys remember that acronym that we wrote, so for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. And conjunctions link words and phrases and clauses. So this is when our sentences are going to be compound sentences. And as we're becoming our third grade best writers, our sentences, we're going to have more compound sentences instead of simple sentences like, I went to the store, but they were out of milk, so I had to drive across town. Longer doesn't always mean that sentences are better, but as we're becoming better authors and better writers, the longer sentences are going to be more interesting for our readers to read. So you're looking for those conjunctions and remembering fanboys. And also at a time where we're doing so much online and virtual learning, Google can be your guys' best friends. So if you need to Google what is a conjunction, they're going to all pull up for you. But the ones that we're focusing on are our fanboys: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Now, the next one that we're working on, prepositions, can be pretty tricky. And honestly, I was nervous to do this in class with you guys when I could be with you one-on-one. So this part might be a little bit harder for you. So if you're struggling and if this is challenging for you, I want you to stick with it. I want you to persevere, but also I want you to understand that this is going to be a little tricky for you, okay? So prepositions are words that describe the location of something, okay? It can be location, or it could be, let's stick with calling it location. So for those of you that didn't know, I love coffee. If you didn't know that, that's crazy because I drink it pretty much every single day and I always have it with me when we're working on our morning stuff. So I got myself some City Brew here and we're going to use Miss Kramer's coffee to help work on prepositions. So for example, Miss Kramer's coffee is above her head. The word that's the preposition is above. Miss Kramer's coffee is beside her. Beside is our preposition. It could even be more vague if I was just, I can't sit my coffee down because then, oh, you can kind of see it. Miss Kramer's coffee is around her. Okay? It could be underneath me. It could be, there are a lot of places that it could be, but it's just about the location is kind of what we're talking about, okay? So it's beyond me. That one doesn't make much sense with my coffee, but I wanted to give you an example. Through, towards, up, over, past. So any word that can describe the location of a word is going to be a preposition. Again, if you guys Google, there are a list of prepositions. There's about 150 prepositions, okay? So I know you're going to be able to figure out a way to use them in your story. I just know that it also might be a little confusing for you to understand. And without tons of practice, it's kind of tricky. I'm going to be honest, you guys are being super smart third graders because I remember working so hard on prepositions in the 7th grade. So you guys are going to be ahead of the game, and you guys are the smartest third graders I know. So I know you're able to do it. I'm just letting you know it's going to be a little tricky. And if it's frustrating, that's what Miss Love and I are here for, okay? You guys can call us, email us, message us, anything that you need to help us, okay? Or to help us. Yes, help us. We want to help you. So that is an option there. And like I said, Google, you can Google if it's going to help you, but I want you guys to be original in the ways that you're putting it in sentences. So if you have a list of prepositions to help get your brain flowing and give you some ideas, that's okay, because I just had to use a list to help me teach you, okay? But we're not using sentences that other people created, but I trust that you guys wouldn't do that anyways. I'm going to put my coffee down now instead of throwing it all over the place. The last one that we're working on is interjections, and I'm not too sure if we've talked about these at all, but they're not as tricky, and they almost add more fun and voice to our stories. So I want to go back to talking about locks on lockers. Something we talked about for locks on lockers is that writing piece was a little more factual and formal. So some of you guys had a lot of voice in there, which meant I could tell who the author was by how they were writing and being creative and putting themselves into the story. When we were working on our opinion piece, we wanted it to sound more formal, like reading a nonfiction book or something like that. Now here, you guys need to insert yourself and who you are as an author into this story. I guess it's not really a story, but into this piece, because you're the expert on this, and Miss Love and I are choosing to learn it from you, not from YouTube, not from Google, not from another friend. We want to hear from you. So insert yourself and make it more fun to read. So that's what interjections are going to do. And they are words. I don't want to say they're not words, but they aren't necessarily, they're just interjections. They're not going to be nouns or anything like that. They don't have a lot of grammar linked to them, is kind of what I'm trying to say. And they're basically expressing emotion in a interjected way. So I kind of think of that as just a interjection is kind of what goes on in my head. And a lot of times interjections use exclamation points. So your sentence might end with it, or you could use an interjection, and this is crazy and it stinks that I'm teaching you this way, but you could use an interjection just as a word itself. So an example I'm going to use is bingo. Okay, I could put that into my piece, into my writing piece. So let's say I'm teaching you guys how to do the dishes. And I say, finally, you dry the dishes. Bingo, you are done. You now officially know how to clean the dishes. Okay, so it's just kind of interjecting some emotion, some voice, and some excitement to keep your reader on track and to keep them engaged. And there are tons of words that we could use as interjections. We could use ew, oops, oh. So basically, they're kind of like almost like noises that we make when we're excited is what we're writing in there as word form. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of hard for me to give a grammar lesson when it doesn't really follow all the rules of grammar, because everything we've learned is one word can't be a sentence, but now I'm telling you it can be. So I hope you take this opportunity to be creative and break the rules a little bit so your piece is more exciting to read. But if this made you a little bit confused and if you need help, I'm going to say a million kajillion times, Miss Love and I are here to help you. And if you wanted to do a quick Google, I'm sure you could find some interjections too. So I hope this mini grammar lesson helped you with this portion of your piece. I have loved reading yours so far, and I sound shady saying that because, to be honest, I haven't read any of them yet, but I just know I'm going to love them. I'm so excited to hear from you guys. I'm so excited to see your work and to just see you guys be the best authors that I know you can be. So I look forward to reading them, and we are getting so close to being done with this piece, and I'm so proud of you for sticking with it. And yeah, I miss you guys. So I hope you're having fun writing, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.